We are on to episodes 3 and 4 of House of the Dragon today. A lot happened in those first 2 episodes. Where do I begin? We're mainly focusing on this dynamic between Viserys, Daemon, and Rhaenyra. And this last episode just ended with us finding out that one of the members of High Court who wanted his daughter, Laena, his 12-year-old daughter, Laena, to marry Viserys. He is going to Daemon to try to strike up an ally there, and it seems like he wants to bring Daemon to the top. The way that he thinks he can bring Daemon to the top, from what I gathered at the conversation that ended the last episode, is that he thinks Daemon should start war in the stone steps or something like that, where the crab feeder is, and there's like crazy stuff going on. Seems like Daemon is going to be doing his own thing there and trying to start up a war, which is going to anger Viserys very much so, because he literally said the words, "I do not want to start a war." He doesn't want to mess around with what's going on over there, which I don't know, like, I can understand why you don't want a war or to cause trouble, but when trouble is already being caused in said place, what is one to do? So I don't know how what is going to go on with all that. We need to see the fallout of Alicent and Rhaenyra and how their relationship is going to be affected by Alicent's betrothal. Is that what the word is? To Rhaenyra's father, Viserys. And then I just want to say too, I saw the comments that you guys left for me, and I saw that a good handful of you guys were saying that it wasn't a choice between baby or wife when it comes to what happened with Viserys and Emma, I think her name was, his wife, and their baby that ended up dying a couple hours later, their son. So that whole situation was pretty intense, and to me it felt like as I was watching it, I haven't looked back on it, and I can't look stuff up about the scene because I don't want any spoilers to pop up, but from how I felt watching all of that unfold, it just felt very it felt scary from Viserys' end. Maybe it's because he didn't have a conversation with Emma about what was about to happen, and Emma just went out not only physically in pain, but like mentally terrified and scared, I guess. But I don't know why when I first watched it, it felt like they were saying, there's a slim possibility that we could save both, but there's a greater chance that we could save the baby if we don't have to worry about trying to save the mother. That's what I got from it. So I was like, okay, well, if there's a slim chance that you can save both, go for that instead of trying to go for the bigger chance of saving the baby. But then in the comments, you guys were saying, no, it wasn't a slim chance. Like, there was no chance she would have survived. So I'm sorry if I misunderstood that. I guess it's hard to have that conversation with, hey, we're going to kill you now and try to save the baby when she's in a state like that. Like, it's going to be traumatic either way. But still, I don't know. I just felt weird about all of it. But okay. I heard you. I'm going to be done talking now, and let's get into episode 3 of House of the Dragon, which is titled Second of His Name. Oh my god. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the gore, I think I did mention it, the gore in this show compared to Game of Thrones is like 10 times crazier. That is sick. Oh, is that Daemon already? Oh, that's unfortunate. Man, it's pretty easy to declare war on people when you got a dragon, isn't it? Oh, did he have that disease? Maybe I missed it. I forget, there's a certain type of disease that causes like scale type things on your skin. Well, what a way to start an episode. And episode 3 at that, oh my god. What?
And you have my nose, don't you?
2 years old.
Is this real?
Our boy has a kingly presence.
We're skipping ahead so much.
The matter of the stepstones is regrettably urgent.
It's been 3 years. It can wait another 3
Hmm.
days.
Under the dragon's eye.
She's really disassociating from everything.
Your Grace.
Did I say to stop? From the beginning.
Still awkward between them. I mean, yeah. I was gonna say still awkward after 3 years, but I feel this is just one of those things that you can't get over.
And you have duties.
As I am ceaselessly reminded.
I'm sorry?
As I am ceaselessly reminded.
You would need to be reminded if you ever attended to them.
No one's here for me.
Well, sounds like it's certainly been a dreary 3 years for Rhaenyra.
My lord husband says that no king has ever been able to tame the stepstones for long. It's an inhospitable place suited only for savages.
Perhaps the princess can give us some insight.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm not sure how I could. I've never been to the Stepstones. I wouldn't know. I've not spoken to Damon in years.
Since you supplanted him as heir.
Lord Jason Lannister.
Gathered that from all the lions.
Triggered.
If one were to stand in the tower, on a perfect day, one could see clear across the sunset sea.
Is this his way of flirting?
I don't have a dragon pit, of course, but I do have the means and resources to build one.
Why would you need a dragon pit?
To house dragons, of course. I'd do anything for my queen.
God. A Lannister and a Targaryen? I can't comprehend.
Jason Lannister is an excellent match.
He's arrogant and self-serious.
Well, I thought you might have that in common.
Oh,
But you've refused me at every turn.
That is because I do not wish to get married.
Even I do not exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra.
Excuse me, Your Grace.
he is very traditional and dutiful. I would say equally a strength and a weakness at times. Where is she gonna go, though?
Princess, wait!
Man, I don't think she knows where she's gonna go.
Still fresh.
Between 2 and 3 hours, Your Grace. My best scout spied him.
What I offer you, the crown and your daughter, is strength.
Do you think that House Targaryen wants for strength?
Exactly.
If someone offered you more dragons, would you not take them?
Do you have dragons to offer?
Rebellion? There has been nothing of the sort, Your Grace.
I did not decide to name Rhaenyra my heir on a whim. All the lords of the kingdom would do well to remember that.
Does he mean this? Because even I was like, oh, once he gets a son, it's going to change, right? But he's really going to stick with Rhaenyra all the way to the end until she's queen?
There is another choice beyond Casterly Rock. One perhaps you might be more comfortable with, one closer to home.
Who do you have in mind?
Oh, God.
Prince Aegon.
Not to be suffocated by all this fucking politicking.
I mean, that's what happens when
speak
you're
no
king.
more.
But, wow. I feel like I knew that there was a history of incest, specifically within the Targaryen line. But I did not see that one coming until like a few seconds before the words left his mouth.
Do you wish to hear my opinion on the matter?
Oh, God.
It seemed to me the best match for Rhaenyra is the son of the sea snake, Seleno.
Son of the sea
Some years
snake.
ago, I counseled you to take his sister to wife.
I mean, at least it's not her little brother. Man, he's going through it. I feel like he just doesn't seem to have the energy to be king anymore. Like, he just does not want to hear any of it.
Do you think the realm will ever accept me as their queen?
Yeah.
I have no choice but to, Princess.
Busted. I hope it's like the White Heart or something. Why do I feel a jump scare coming? Is that a boar? Oh my God. That was, you know, a little squeak. Oh God. Please at least let it be this time. Oh. Oh. No, don't kill it. It's the white one, too. No.
mustn't ignore the certain truth that if Rhaenyra were to step over Aegon to ascend the throne, the realm would tear itself apart.
Why?
They all swore obeisance to her. Our house among them.
Yeah.
That was before Aegon. You must guide Viserys towards reason. He'll never find it on his own.
I do believe that Rhaenyra will marry Your Grace, but she must believe it is her choice to do so.
She must believe it is her choice. Yikes.
Lord Corlys and Prince Daemon are losing their war. This is a plea for aid. Then why not send it?
Yeah.
Because it is a war started by two malcontents, unhappy with decisions I made.
I think you have to put aside your pride at this point.
That I am forever doomed to anger one person in the pleasing of another.
That's how I feel about every single thing I say on the internet.
If you refer to your attempt to marry me off to Casterly Rock.
I am sorry, Rhaenyra.
Hmm.
I was trying to help you. Make it yourself. Search
Really?
him out.
Really?
Find one that pleases you. As I did. But I swear to you now, on your mother's memory, you will not be supplanted.
Why does it make me more nervous that he swears on her mother's memory? Like, when people make such big promises / claims like that, it just makes me more suspicious. Not that he has a plan to supplant her, but I'm afraid it's not gonna work out. I don't know.
An offering of flesh to bait the crab.
Who?
Not Damon. He's very commanding in his silence. Is he gonna tear it up? He's not gonna accept help. Oh my god, what the heck? Did he literally just kill the messenger? What? Oh my god. I have no idea what's about to happen. What happens when you do this? Do they just go like, okay, good game? They kill him? What? By yourself? How? You guys gotta send out more at a time. Okay. Okay. I have chills. Now what? Oh my god. Yeah. This is hot. Oh my god. No. Oh. Really? We need help. This has to be the end. Are they coming? His people? Yeah, now what? Running back to your caves? Such a coward. Come on, fight your own battles. Huh? I feel shaky. I'm actually, this was a thing on my other channel, was I get goosebumps really easily, and I wish I could prove it to you every time I get the chills, but they just don't really come up on camera. Okay, okay. I'm gonna come back to that ending. Much of this episode was surrounding the fact that, okay, let's start with the fact that this skipped 3 years ahead. This was something I was wondering about, because I was like, okay, there's 172 years we need to cover. I wasn't even sure how many seasons there were. I actually did look up after I watched those first 2 episodes. I was like, how many seasons are there going to be of House of the Dragon? From what I read, it sounded that obviously season 2 is already confirmed, which is good. The trajectory is around 4, which even 4 seasons to me just sound like, wonder how many years spanned the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. It definitely wasn't 172 years. When you have 172 years to cover, skipping 3 years from one episode to the next doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I'm just not used to seeing shows move at that kind of pace. So it's just like when I saw the baby Aegon, and when I saw that Alicent was like pregnant even with another, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was like, it took me by surprise at first, but the pacing made sense. And actually, I feel like when you do that thing where you're going 3 years ahead, it can be very, very, very easy to mess that up and make the audience feel lost and playing catch up the whole time. And I didn't feel like that. I mean, obviously, I'm sure a lot went down in the 3 years, and it helps that this war that was happening at the stepstones, not the stone steps. This war that was happening there lasted those 3 years, which was the main plot line within the universe of Game of Thrones or of House of the Dragon. At that time, it helps ease the 3 year thing a bit more. Rhaenyra is 17, 10 and 7 years. It's time for her to get a husband, I guess. And she took that how a lot of people would in her position, as her father just trying to get her to a safe, high ranking before he decides to make Aegon heir. I would have the same line of thinking, and clearly they have terrible, terrible, terrible communication, so you wouldn't know what the line of thinking is from either side. Oh, I just am now realizing, wasn't Alicent supposed to convince Viserys that Aegon should be the heir? In that conversation, I thought that we were going to cover that, but then she ended up just convincing him to help Daemon. But yeah, I am afraid as far as all of that. I'm afraid that Aegon is going to be heir. But then we had the conversation with her and her father where he said, you know, I'm not asking you to marry someone so that I can shove you away into a pretty castle somewhere else. I'm asking you to marry someone so that you can raise your standings and prepare better to have a family and around you, a family unit, when you become queen. Like, you're staying the heir, don't worry. And obviously she was very, very happy to hear that, and I am too, and I hope it stays that way. But I'm just still on the fence about that just working out how he wants and she wants and everything. Now, the ending of this episode. Listen, in episode 1 and 2, I wasn't a big Daemon fan. He didn't do anything inexplicably terrible, right? Other than want to be the rightful heir. Which, you know, I mean, there are worse things than wanting to be king, especially when it's technically, by their world standards, your right. You know, I feel like he never did anything inexplicably terrible, but he never did anything that made me want to root for him either. So I was just kind of like back and forth with him, leaning toward the negative with him in those first 2 episodes. And also I just get fearful with the younger brother trope in shows. Like, usually they're crazy and I get nervous about them. Seeing him, obviously there's a lot of pride going into it. You know, his brother wants to send help and he says, okay, no, I'm going to prove to you that I can do this on my own. He made it a long way, and what he did was very noble and brave. Well, I don't know if noble is the right word, because he waved the white flag and then, you know, didn't surrender, which is extremely frowned upon, I imagine, not fair play. But, you know, he did what he had to do to prove that he would do anything to win this war, win this fight. There's a lot to admire in that. Like, that, I don't know if there's a lot of brave people in this universe, in Game of Thrones and in House of the Dragon, but I don't know, that scene of him going in one against an entire army, that is a level of bravery that I've ever rarely seen. And they were able to carry it through, and he went right into that cave, went right to Crab Feeder, and killed him gruesomely. I imagine it was a torture process, given Crab Feeder's history. You know, a little bit of your own medicine action going on in that cave. So, after seeing all that, where do I stand with Daemon? I would say I had him at a 4 out of 10 in terms of admiration in episodes 1 and 2, maybe even a 3. In this episode, in the moment, it was a 10 out of 10 out of admiration. But now, looking at his motive behind it and taking a step back and looking at his character fully, he's sitting at a solid 7. Maybe even more. I don't know. I'm like too scared to say, because I don't know what's going to happen. He could turn out to be a backstabber or a terrible person in these next couple episodes, or he could turn out to be like the hero of the show. You never, ever know with shows like this how people might turn for the better or worse. I'm very interested. I don't want a time jump. A small time jump is fine. I don't want a big time jump again for this next episode, because I want to see the aftermath of that war at the Stepstones. Let's see. Let's get into the next episode. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, also in the last episode, it's so weird to see Lana. It's just so weird to see all of the house's ancestors. I don't know why I get like triggered every single time. Also, I feel like there has to be some symbolism in the little scene of Rhaenyra letting the white stag go free. I feel like that's going to either come back or it's symbolism of some kind. Let's go! Who am I going to love and hate by the end of this episode?
Did you think my great-grandmother is beautiful as they say?
This was half a century ago, Princess.
Yes, it was.
Is that a child?
And now a child.
Craven.
We're leaving.
The kid did it. Yep.
Don't look, Princess.
How do you think he would take it?
Do you speak of how you rejected every suitor His Grace put before you, or how you abruptly ended the tour with 2 months remaining?
You see, you can't take this kind of banter for granted. It's them. Their end game. Oh. Is that Damon? Rude.
Add it to the chair.
Kind of a badass opening line.
But I know that there is only one true king, Your Grace.
Interesting. I feel like he's playing some sort of game.
The crown and the stepstones are yours.
The realm owes you a great debt, brother.
Yeah.
It is rare for girls in this realm to get a choice between 2 suitors, no less 2 score of them.
I suppose
Men
that's
and
true.
boys don't fawn over me. They only want my name and my Valyrian blood for their offspring.
I think it's rather romantic.
How romantic it must be to get imprisoned in a castle and me to squeeze out to heirs.
All anyone sees when they look at me now is the Queen.
I've missed you too.
Okay, good. I appreciate the little heart to heart. There definitely is.
So?
Don't say he wants to marry her too.
Only the comforts of home.
I'm scared everyone wants to marry her, and I don't have to hold back on her own family members now. Ever since they suggested Aegon.
You've matured yourself these last 4 years, Princess.
Okay.
Seems we have traded a crab feeder for a sea snake.
This is clearly a rebuke for passing over Lady Lena for Queen Alicent.
Certainly it cannot still be wrath.
The sea snake
my
is an
gosh.
overproud man, to be sure, Your Grace. We would have to seek our own marriage pact.
Wait, what? What the heck? And she never knew. It's kind of crazy that it was never guarded. Damon left that, right? What is he scheming though? I can't tell if it's a good or bad scheme, but it's definitely a scheme.
Do you wish to know your death?
Oh my god. Also, no, I do not wish to know my death.
His daughter! A girl! His heir!
Yeah.
Their wants are of no consequence.
They're of great consequence if you expect to rule them one day.
Yeah.
For one night, I wish to be free of the burdens of my inheritance.
What was the purpose of that scene? Now I'm nervous. What is Alicent up to? Very interesting uncle-niece trip. Okay. Okay. What just happened?
I shall alert the Lord Commander.
You finished?
He said, I'm too tired for this. Oh god. Oh god. That was pretty smooth. Yeah, he's like too honorable, right? Right? No? Because like of his position, like he's not allowed, I imagine. That's not allowed. I feel like he's a rule follower. Maybe he's not. This is the kiss I was waiting for, not Damon. This long process of taking everything off just makes like the nerves worse. Oh cute, they're laughing. Okay. I'm scared. I have trust issues. What if he's not? What if he's bad? Why? Where is he sleeping? Oh.
The princess was spied last evening. Beyond the walls of the keep.
Like kissing him. Is that what Viserys wanted?
In a pleasure house. Daemon and Rhaenyra were seen together. In the bowels of a pleasure den. Coupling.
Your designs are obvious. Do you wish to have your blood on the Iron Throne so badly that you are willing to destroy mine own?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, I have a lot to say about all this. Okay, I'll wait.
Was I drank wine, left the castle after dark.
But you fucked Damon in a pleasure house.
Mm.
Damon certainly knows no limit.
Alicent, Your Grace, sister, you must know I would never.
Viserys, was it all Viserys, Alicent, and her father all planned this?
I was only a spectator. I didn't do anything.
She's leaving the kiss out of it.
Your niece.
Here is a woman grown. Better her first experience would be with me than some whore. Wed her to me. When I offered up my crown, you said I could have anything. I want Rhaenyra. I'll take her as she is and wed her in the tradition of our house.
She swore to me that she remains a maiden. And I believe her.
Okay.
Your courtship is at an end. You will wed Selene of Valarian. And you will do so without protest.
He wants Aegon to be named heir. And he will stop at nothing to see it done. Including spying on me to bring about my ruin.
He's really gonna... What, fire? I doubt it's called fire him.
Jaehaerys named you hand in Balon's stead.
That's hardly how I viewed it, Your Grace. It was a duty.
How long did it take you to choose yourself over your king?
The Queen loves you. As I know you love her.
The crown and the realm. Both owe you a debt that can never be repaid. But I can no longer trust your judgment.
I took great care in its preparation.
Why am I suspicious? It's poison. What is that?
If not brewed properly, it can either prove ineffective.
Is it like birth
from
control?
The king. It will rid you of any unwanted consequences.
So he doesn't believe her. I mean, she could use it, but not because of her uncle. What? Oh my god. These episodes are so long and they do not feel it. That one was messy. That one was messy. There was a lot of, oh my god. Okay, this is my theory about what just happened. Because I was so stressed out when they kept on showing Alicent when Daemon took Rhaenyra out of the city, out to the King's Landing. I was like, why do they keep showing her? And then when earlier when Alicent had that conversation with her father Otto about how he needs to convince Viserys to Aegon the heir, I was like, okay, when are we ever going to see the result of that conversation or that request from Otto with Alicent? And it never came. But what I'm thinking is Otto, Alicent, and Daemon all got together. Well, I think Otto and Alicent went to Daemon and were like, hey, we have a proposition. Like, we're trying to eliminate Rhaenyra as a possible heir to the throne. I feel like Daemon is smart enough to know that they want Aegon to be heir. And I feel like Otto and Alicent are smart enough to know that Daemon wants to be heir himself. So I was a little confused, I was thinking, okay, if they all plotted together to get Rhaenyra outside the walls and have Daemon seduce her in the pleasure house, they would only work together if they both feel like they're both getting something out of it. And I guess eliminating Rhaenyra as an heir is one step in the right direction for both of them. But then they have to know that they're both going to be facing off with each other if they pulled it off. He knew this would be a good political move for him, and he almost he told her that. He told her multiple times, marriage, everything is political. So, of course, this is political everything is political to Daemon, it seems. I don't think he does anything for himself selfishly. Well, it all is all technically selfish because he's doing everything for his own power, but I just mean that he doesn't take a lot of any advantage that doesn't lead him in the direction of the throne. So the way that he seemed to be having inner turmoil and maybe guilt about what he was about to do to Rhaenyra, and he chickened out, thankfully, at the last second, although it was still enough to have Otto send someone to spy. And then I was like, okay, but then when Rhaenyra came back and the Queen Alicent questioned her about her night, I do believe that Alicent was in on it and she knew everything that went down and that it was plotted. I feel like she isn't sure if she went all the way or not, but I don't think that matters to her. I think, like what Viserys said, what matters to her is perception. But I feel like this scheme that may or may not exist between Alicent, Otto, and Daemon, I feel like she was, in on that, but I feel like she didn't want to be in on it. I feel like most of the things in her life, she is doing everything that her father tells her, and she's like a little puppet to her father. And so she had to do this. And I feel like she was genuine in wanting to believe what Rhaenyra said about not having done anything with her uncle, with Daemon, and whether she believes her or not, I think that her going to Viserys and saying, hey, she told me nothing happened, we had a conversation, and I believe her, I don't think anything happened, how can we believe this gossip, blah, blah, blah. I think that was part of her who was still trying to fight against. I think she feels guilty. I feel like she didn't want all this to happen. She doesn't want Otto to be so obsessed with, she doesn't want her son to be heir. We have already learned this. She said it with her own words. But I also feel like she does have a genuine friendship tie with Rhaenyra that she doesn't want to break. And so she's fighting between these two sides. And I think she was just trying to be okay, I have to do this scheme with my father and with Daemon, but maybe I can, after it's complete and my dad knows that, I went along with what he wanted me to do, maybe I can convince Viserys to go easy on Rhaenyra and maybe not believe the rumors. But unfortunately, that didn't really work out. He doesn't believe Rhaenyra, and now he's making her marry Sir Laenor Valyria, which, I don't know if I have anything against him. We don't really know much of him. We saw him briefly in the battle, but I am for loving marriages, and there's just they don't even know each other. They don't love each other. She's not a fan of the sea snake. It is all very messy. And again, I'm hoping for not a big jump. I don't think that Rhaenyra is going to end up marrying Laenor. I'm very curious about what's going to happen with her and Kristen. Is anything going to come of them? I was really rooting for them once her dad, I dropped my pen. Once her dad said you can choose anyone, I was like, okay, this is going to lead her to choose Kristen. But honestly, I don't even know if Kristen would count in the acceptability of him saying anyone, because there's this weird power dynamic. He's supposed to be there to protect her, not to wed her. So I don't even know if it would have been okay back when Viserys was okay with her choosing, but now, she's lost that privilege at the moment, and it's not a privilege. She's lost that right at the moment, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I really feel for a lot of people right now. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it at that. A lot of moral grayness, but also a lot of black and white, it feels like, about the things that went down in this episode. So I'm scared to see the next two. And hopefully you watch this quickly, because I'm sure this will get taken down for a little bit for copyright from HBO. But hopefully they will put it back up if they do that. Please, HBO gods. Okay, I will see you guys next time.